Hi, this video is going to be about the Rechabite covenant, the covenant with the Rechabites, and the 613 mitzvot given by God through Moses at Sinai, the 613 individual laws, 365 negative, 248 positive. So, the covenant made with the Rechabites and the 613. Here are some of the sources we'll be going through quickly about the Rechabites and their association with the kenites. And you can find them together in one verse, 1 Chronicles 2:55. Families of scribes or scholars that dwelt at Yabes. Yabes is a place and a person. These are the kenites, who are from Hamath, the father of the house of Rechab, the Rechabites. And here's what the sources have to say about them. This is about the Pharaoh asking for counsel from Bilam and Job and Jethro. And Jethro, or Yitro, ran away as a sign of protest, merited that some of his children's children sat in the Sanhedrin in the chamber of hewn stone, as it is stated. And it quotes the verse, and it is written, the children of the kenite, Moses' father-in-law, so Jethro. This teaches that the kenites, descendants of Yitro, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, dwelt at Yabes, referring to the place where the Jewish people go for advice, the chamber of hewn stone. This is also, you might know, from the prayer of Yabes. And again it quotes that they sat as scribes in session with the Sanhedrin in the chamber of hewn stone. And quotes another verse, and the children of the kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up from the city of the palm trees. Why was the law given in the desert? To teach us that just as the desert is free to all men, so the words of the law are free to all who desire them. Also, lest a man should say, I am a student of the law that was given to me and my ancestors, while you and your ancestors are not students of the law. Your ancestors were strangers. Hence it is written, an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. This tells us that the law was an inheritance for all who associate themselves with Jacob. Even outsiders who devote themselves to the law are equal to the high priest, as it is said. And then it says, which if a man do, he shall live by them. I am the Lord. It does not refer to priest or Levite or Israelite, but merely to man. Thus, one law and one ordinance shall be both for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. Observe what is written concerning the sons of Jethro. And it quotes our verse again, the kenites. And it gives some explanations for their names, one of them being the Sukkothites, which includes the word sukkah, or covered by. They were known to not stay in houses. They dwelt in tents, and actually that tradition goes all the way back to the Canaanite line in Genesis 4. They were the Kenites who came from the father of the house of Rechab. The father-in-law of Moses was a Kenite, and Shammaiah and Abtalion and the descendants of Sisera were also kenites, as well as Yael, who killed Sisera, and her husband Heber, the Kenite. They studied the law in public like the men of the great synagogue. Why was that? Because the law was given to all Israel. Therefore it is written, these words that the Lord spoke unto all your assembly. And one of my good friends pointed this out to me again recently. Melchiah, or Malchijah, I would say, son of Rechab, repaired the dung gate. He rebuilt it and set up its doors, locks, and bars. So here they're making repairs to the temple, and you have one of these descendants. So the main Rechabite chapter is Jeremiah 35. Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, and this is a prophecy from Jeremiah. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, go say to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, you can learn a lesson here about obeying my commands, declares the Lord. The commands of Jonadab, son of Rechab, have been fulfilled. He charged his children not to drink wine, and to this day they have not drunk, in obedience to the charge of their ancestor. But I spoke to you persistently, and you did not listen to me. I persistently sent you, all my servants, the prophets, to say, turn back, every one of you, from your wicked ways and mend your deeds. Do not follow other gods or serve them. Then you may remain on the land that I gave to you and your fathers. But you did not give ear or listen to me. The family of Jonadab, son of Rechab, have indeed fulfilled the charge which their ancestor gave them, but this people has not listened to me. Assuredly, thus said the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, I am going to bring up Judah and bring upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all the disaster which I have threatened them. For I spoke to them, but they would not listen. I called to them, but they would not respond. And here's the covenant with the Rechabites. And to the family of the Rechabites, Jeremiah said, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, because you have obeyed the charge of your ancestor Jonadab, and kept all his commandments, and done all that he enjoined upon you. Assuredly, thus said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, there shall never cease to be a man of the line of Jonadab, son of Rechab, standing before me. So they have this, God makes a covenant with the Rechabites, saying that line will continue forever. Interestingly, we know that they're associated with the kenites. And if you look up the value of this word, here's like one of the hits that comes up as a match. And I'm only pointing this one out because it has ha-keni in it, backwards. Ha-keni sounds identical to the kenite, and actually in the majority of the sources they spell it like this, but here it is backwards. Again, house of the Rechabites, and another little kenite hint, keneh here, this kuf nun thing going on. And here is children of the house of the Rechabites, and the match is Ishmael ben Abraham, which actually describes them. They were Ishmaelites. And here again, ha-kenim this time which is sounds identical and looks almost identical to the kenites, so the plural form. And here, it's the branches on the menorah. Here's how the menorah here. So the branches or the rods of the menorah. Interestingly, the kenites were known as metal workers. So they were the masters of metalwork, which actually also goes all the way back to Genesis 4 with Tubal Cain. So ha-kenim and the menorah as a match for children of the house of the Rechabites. And here's the most interesting one, another perfect description of them. Children of the house of the Rechabites, Hagar in Israel. They were gerim, both ger toshav and the full convert. There's a little hint in the text, actually, about this. If you go to Jeremiah 35:18, where it's talking about because they didn't drink wine, and you'll see here mitzvot jehonadab. Now there's two spellings of jonadab, and sometimes it comes up jonadab and sometimes jehonadab. There are theories about this. What's interesting is if you take mitzvot jehonadab, so the laws or commandments of jehonadab, and check out the value of it, the value of mitzvot jehonadab is 613. Which lines up with Hagar, the convert, or the ger toshav, but in this case, the convert in Israel. So mitzvot jehonadab, 613. And here's one more thing. Here's your source. It happened that one of the water drinkers, the descendants of Rechab, because they don't drink wine, sacrificed an offering, and a heavenly voice issued forth from the Holy of Holies, saying, "He who accepted your sacrifices in the desert, he will accept your sacrifices at this time. Great is the covenant that was made with jonadab, the son of Rechab, than that made with David." So they're saying it was greater than the covenant made with David. For that made with David was conditional. And the quote is, "If your sons keep my commandment, etc., and if not, then I will punish their offense with a rod." But the covenant with Jonadab, the son of Rechab, was unconditional. There will not be cut off a man of the descendants of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, standing before me all of the days. If you have any interest in this kind of thing, the kenites, Rechabites, gerim, noahides, Gematria, anything like that, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.